So Vito, what you're interested in?
Well, I've got an electrical engineering degree. I did industrial controls for 10 plus years in IT work. And I've got a whole mess of this stuff sitting at home, but I also
Industrial controls, you need a job?
No, I work at Referral Electric.
Okay, so you're familiar with Schneider Electric?
Yeah. I did a lot of Allen Bradley, a lot of Schneider, a lot of Siemens, a lot of PLC programming. I got a lot of interests. It's just a matter of my wife works full time. I got an 11-year-old daughter, and I don't get out of the house.
Ah.
And I'm not a native to Cincinnati, so I've been here for about 4 years.
11 years old also.
So I've got a little bit of a disposable income. So I buy stuff, and then I never do much with it because it takes too much, energy to get ramped up and going, and then I get stalled, and so I do a lot of everything. Last night I was fixing the screens and all my my faucets to some CLR to clear out all the backup because I replaced my water heater and a couple of them got all jammed up. So you turned it on, no flow. So I was doing that. And night before.
So you're an electrical engineer. I thought maybe that was a mechanical engineer.
No, that's saying me at my name. So I've been doing computer work since I was in high school. So I got my Mac Mini ripped apart right now. I'm doing a hard drive upgrade.
We got a Mac bigot. Yes.
Yes.
I can do both. I've learned them both. So.
Oh, you go both ways.
Everyone use Mac.
Okay.
4 kids.
They're all Mac.
My wife all use Mac. I only use PCs.
Oh, okay.
I've got PCs and
I use Samsung Androids. They use iPhones.
Oh, okay. Sure.
This is my first venture into an iPhone. I couldn't stand my my Galaxies are getting too hot for no reason. Not like the Notes, not like that, but I turn them on.
I have Notes. I have the 1, the 4, the 7 didn't buy it. It was waiting. Good idea.
I wanted that one too. It got great reviews, but then they start lighting on fire.
Fire bad. The 4 is getting very hot when you use Periscope. I don't know why.
Mine would, every time the screen would come on after one of the updates, the whole phone would just start getting hot at the processor and then go out. Wow. So anyway, I did IT break fix after the 09. I lost a job and I forced myself. I bought a Mac. I did all my calendar contact and emails in it and just kind of forced myself to learn it. Now I could rip them apart, replace screens, do upgrades, and just after years of being in. So I see value in both, but nothing pisses me off more than this phone and not being able to set what app I want when my address gets clicked. I don't want to use Apple Maps, you sons of bitches. Let me use my Google Maps. So I can't. I'm not a little Mac crony, but I do know them. I do appreciate them for what they are. I like my swiping on my MacBook Pro when I'm sitting there. I can use my fingers. No PC has ever had the touchpad like the Mac has.
So you do ladder logic programming?
Ladder, function block. I've done 984 ladder.
So how you do? You actually do that? You do programming for?
I used to.
Used to? Oh, you don't.
Yeah. Now I'm sales support, so I'm a sales engineer. You can tell I talk a lot. So I'm a highly social engineer. I work for an electrical distributor in the industrial vertical. So
great. My 3D printer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So I got an Lexington, Louisville. So I get to drive down to there. I almost I go to the AK Steel right around the corner here. I've been up in P&G facilities in here, working on some cooling tower fans, doing PID control loops for the fans, for temperature control.
Oh, PID. We can talk PID.
Sometimes this is faster.
I know what PID is.
Oh, you do? PID.
PID loops.
I do a lot of education in my job. So I do a lot of talk, educating people on variable frequency drives. And I get access to a lot of.
I have several settings to use for PID.
Okay.
So
you remember
I've got demos of variable in all industrial related stuff.
Steel foam ball inside plastic tube, transparent.
I can send it out. I get
moving up and down.
Like the Raspberry Pi, Phoenix Contact makes
servo leveling a ball to move and stabilize where you want.
The Raspberry Pi,
some kind of things.
Wow.
Yeah. Sampled a couple of those out already.
Rail mounted.
I bought a 3D printer, did one thing with it, like he's got the little axy thing right there. I started printed out some stuff to mount the camera on, and then I just kind of got busy in holidays. And
I have a 3D printer also.
Yeah.
I am faster with the wood. I have all the all the machines in the garage, cutting. Yeah. While I'm thinking what to do, I finish in half an hour doing everything.
I had a 3D printer. Well, I moved. I couldn't take it. It was too big.
Oh,
You now live in the.
now we call first world problems.
Yeah.
Well, now I want a 3D printer again.
Yeah. I was
He
complaining
lives
to
in the
someone, I
cloud.
was like, I had to go buy a network extender because my house is so large, my Wi-Fi didn't reach the other side.
What you'll get.
That's a good problem to have.
I was like, these are first world problems.
Well,
It really was. I had my Wi-Fi is all the way on the one side of the house. It's not centrally located at all. It would be fine if I could move it to the middle, but that's not where my hookups are. It's kind of funny. But anyway, I'm jack of all trades, and I'm just looking for like-minded people to hang out with. But I live out in Anderson, so this is like a 35 or 40-minute drive for me to get up here from my house.
Wow.
But I come up this neighborhood for work all the time. But anyway, I've read you've got some engineering. I saw some PLC stuff in your meetup notes. Is that right?
Yeah. You probably looked at the website, but I did some PLC training kids to do basic PLC programming, and I did sales for Modicons many years ago when they were 584 came out.
I installed some quantums. They're all obsolete now.
Yeah, Alan Bradley's winning from all I can see over here anyway.
Schneider put a bid in to buy Alan Bradley. Some rumors were coming around like a month ago.
Really?
You can't beat him, buy him.
Alan Bradley's pretty big. Rockwell.
Just in the United States. Well, they're going to buy Rockwell, but that's just in the United States. You go over to Europe, and nobody likes them over there. It's all Schneider,
Really?
Siemens.
Yeah. Siemens is big over there. Schneider or Modicon? Well, what's this Modicon Schneider stuff?
Schneider bought Modicon,
Yeah.
and then they just basically tanked it. They try to charge too much for their product.
Okay.
And they don't have the feature sets in the software.
Okay.
I can't sell it. I try. I got demos. I try to give it to people. They're like, oh, well, we'd rather pay overpriced prices for the Allen Bradley stuff.
Yeah, well, a lot of people buy the Allen Bradley because of the support and
they're just a money monster.
They are. They always have been.
Monster.
There's no doubt about that.
That's what I learned. That's what I learned programming on. I was a PLC 5 using RS Logix 5 back in '98.
PLC 5, my God.
I thought it was awesome when I saw one of those world's greatest roller coasters, and they opened up the control cabinet, and there was a PLC 5 in there. I was like, I could do that.
That's, well, no, I guess I learned on the Slick 500.
Yeah.
I got
It's still an old PLC.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're doing now. We're going around finding all these old quantums and slicks, and we're ripping them out and putting them in the new Unity-based processors and trying to compete with the Control Logix platform still. People are still going to it. But why do you want to? I mean, we could do it for half the price and with less engineering hours, and they still want to go with Control Logix and pay all the licensing fees.
See, we were just going to Control Logix when I was interested, so it's gone past that to quantum.
Right.
Each time you see this.
So a few people here tonight. You want to let's introduce ourselves.
I'm Leroy.
Vicente.
Frank. Vito.
Vicente.
And you got any processors yourself? You tinkered with any?
No, I got a whole
Yeah.
mess of Arduinos, and I got a Pi 2, Pi 3. I've got a
That one
Micro,
Russian website
Mini,
said
and
something about
Uno,
it
and
doing
Mega.
that
I
Russian
just went up to
website
Micro Center one day, and I
said
they
something
were
about it.
$2.99 or $3.99. I bought like 10 of them
Oh, okay.
each. And they're just sitting in the drawer waiting for me to do projects.
It's still
I got
pretty amazing that you got it.
all the sensors. I went through my woes of trying to get the
The desktop.
pinouts for some of this stuff because it's not very documented very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then trying to get
But
some of
they can change
the how much voltage on the VCC input. It says you can go
the
9 to
resolution.
12 volts, but it really can't. And I fried a board, So I put like a 9 volt on
Send
or
the
anything like that.
God, I've done. I actually haven't tried one yet.
It was that voltage regulator, trying to take a higher voltage and step it down into the 5 volts needed, and I think it was a 9-volt battery I put on there. It just did not like it at all. It was just $3.
I'm in line to get a Jewel, Microsoft Jewel. One of my sons has promised that he's going to get it from the Intel store. So usually they don't come through, but hopefully this time he'll come through.
What is a Joule, pray tell?
That's it's like a Arduino kind of, it's more powerful than Arduino microprocessor. It's just from Microsoft.
Really?
It's closer to an Atom.
It's an Intel, isn't it?
Yes, Intel.
Intel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes with the Galileo and the Edison line.
Yeah.
So it's a Joule.
It's a Jewel.
Galileo, Edison, Joule. See, there's a theme going on there.
Joule as in like the J-O.
J-O-U, yeah.
Like the power measurement. Okay.
Yeah.
Energy.
The kit
I was like,
is
there's no
expensive.
name
So
Joule.
normally you wouldn't think about it because price-wise, it's not like Arduino.
I thought that the guy that found the Joule or invented the Joule or came up with Joule, I thought his name was Joule.
Ooh.
I thought he was
Staples is selling it for $3.97.
Yeah.
a.
I'm gonna get
That
one for free.
it is way outside of my price range.
We assume in this group that that's $3.97.
Yeah. Right.
And that's about right. Sounds about right. Yeah, everybody's on board with that. We may get some Joules next week.
Joules are tiny. They're small
I'm trying
little.
to get the picture of it. It's just not blowing up for me. It's got a big old heat sink,
Yeah,
USB.
the thing uses power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's
No, it's
pretty
small.
It's small.
It's not big.
I'll take over the screen. We have a,
This is
you have to connect to our router to get to the screen, but once you do, you can connect.
I didn't bring it. I mean, I got to brought it any number thing. I just brought I didn't know what to expect.
Joule, Joule,
Right.
and it's Intel.
Intel.
Joule design prototype, Intel. That should show us something. Oh, there's,
I thought the guy who found the Joule or invented the Joule or whatever, I thought he was a scientist. I thought his name was Joule.
Oh, no, there was
Give us some
there was a
slack.
Jewel. The guy, this is one of the early, like the guys.
He was playing with
One of the early
electricity.
places, right. One
Yeah.
of the early people who played with electricity.
It says designed to help inventors and IoT develop contribute to a new generation of robots, drones, and IoT devices that are equipped with Intel HD graphics, 3D modeling, object recognition, and interactive capabilities by the board.
It's hand waving.
Intel.com/Joule. $333 is what Intel has it listed as.
Yes.
giving us this opportunity here.
I am completely amazed. I mean,
Linux kernel.
even at that low resolution like that, it
You'll
works
probably get it for-
fantastic.
You can choose
They want
the
to-
resolution.
No,
They
the
don't want you
Arduino
to
program.
see it.
They get the stuff.
Send with this
Your
message.
screen's zoomed into what?
the
150, 200%.
There it is, but if I zoom it
Processing
too
knows
much, it disappears
what
on
size
me.
is
There
the
the darn thing is, I assume.
Maybe let's have that processor on there. That big silver thing.
But I need to speed up the capture because
Yeah,
it is sending the data.
But you know, for your little
On the
display
board.
thing, that would work pretty good. Just,
For to
yeah,
be using
Like it's
a
mostly one
display,
chip.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can try that.
Wouldn't
I
that
just
work?
There's a
Wouldn't that
stereo
work
on
good
that
to see
picture.
your?
If you go to the right.
I saw a YouTube
And,
video with a guy that has a small display.
If you scroll down just a little bit.
He made a board between the Nano and
That's on the previous page. Let me go back.
What do I click on? Oh, I clicked on where to buy or something.
Okay.
I think
Then it
Specifications. Explore the kit. Getting started by the board.
they don't tell you anything about the heat.
So you can read that.
I mean, not the heat, but
The-
the
the,
power.
move
The link that they offer inside the library is 2.5 gig, 2.5 meg.
I
Oh,
can hotspot my phone for you.
It's
It's free data from Raybar.
Yeah.
See, oh, you just passed it. There's a couple pictures. right there. I get you your closest up view of it.
Oh, okay, that's
It's
better.
working pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's got a single chip with a metal plate on the top of it, looks like. It's a
Let me
screw
show
on.
this.
That's another board.
Yeah.
Okay. It
Yeah,
looks like it has like an IDE bus on
For
it.
some reason, I can't
Couple of
cast
ADU
right now. I'm not
buses.
sure
We can
why.
make a demo.
Yeah.
I show this in the.
Here.
Yeah, it's got an I/O.
Those are pins, all made for connections. Okay.
Yeah.
$397 sounds good.
No, it doesn't.
If you don't have to pay anything, and I'm not paying anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it was given to me, I'd be more than happy to play with it. It's a little laptop without a screen is what it is.
What we have, Vito, is you'll get, this is our meeting announcement.
Sure.
You'll get that in the mail previous to the meeting, assuming I do my part of my job. And we have the meeting announcement. That's it. You can go directly to it at any time. Just click on that when you get the mail message.
Okay.
Link to the videos. He's making videos of the meetings. So if you want to look at some of the videos,
I try.
yeah, he tries, and you can do
I
that.
forgot which is the.
We have
the net-
various discussions. This is today's meeting.
Which net to use?
Vicente will be using a $3 camera. Yeah, we
This one?
probably saw
The
part of that
RNX.
with the Arduino, and that's Handsome over there himself. And everyone occasionally will volunteer to do a project and bring it in. He's volunteered. Leroy does tons of them.
What's kind of interesting is somebody would say something, and then the next week I would
Do something
do the
about it.
project. Well, 2 weeks ago, because we didn't have a meeting last week. 2 weeks ago, I said something.
He
And then he made it.
May I cast something?
So, yeah,
The club project is the TCT trash can transport
Cast
guidance project. That's one for my dad. He needed to carry the trash cans to the road. And that's one I'm working on.
What's that? What's that do? What is the
I think
The
concept?
you
objective
just
is
cast
to,
the
you set
tab,
the
not the
trash cans
screen.
on this object, and the object takes it out to the road.
Go
You push
back.
the button
Oh, so you got a little
and takes it to the
Carrier.
road. And we investigated GPS and
Tell it
investigated
to stop.
Stop.
guidance by light.
Pull that down.
My latest
Okay.
iteration is
Yes,
compass
desktop.
guided to get
Click
go
on
out.
there.
It only go as one direction and
Click
stop.
on there.
Sure.
Some of the automated guided vehicles and like facilities, they follow tape on the ground.
Yeah, you do tape or buried wire, or we discussed
So they're
various.
starting to do,
items.
they've got a couple of them that they take plans from the plant and like a CAD file, and that way they can get right away with the tape. If you've never done a tour down at Georgetown at Toyota, they do tours, and they got these little machines running around all over the place. It's hilarious. Just, they all play like doorbell, what I call doorbell chimes. Like that, like whatever you ring at someone's doorbell, and it does some chime, like a clock chime.
Mhm.
They have all these musical tones to announce where they're at, so you don't walk into them.
At Miller Brewing over
did it
there,
die?
they have
Yeah.
the GPS. Well, not GPS. It is GPS-like, but they have
I think
Internal positioning.
they have sensors on top of the thing, and they have 5 positions
It's
that
not
they read
something
continuously
happened.
to determine where they are.
Okay.
And they've automated pickup of pallets of beer, and they have storage and retrieval system and all that
It's
stuff.
freezing.
So yeah, there are lots of ways. We discussed lots of ways, and we'll probably discuss that again. We're looking at something cheap and practical, and so that's going on. The
called the
Beta
neighbor-
Rover project
It's called the
is-
neighbor kid.
Yeah,
Cheap and
yeah,
practical.
yeah, that's true. The Beta Rover is Ray, one of our club members, does laser cutters, and there's one of the Biddy Rovers right there.
Oh, cool.
And he cut all this,
Frozen,
cut the pieces, and we put it together
It froze
Processing program.
for everybody in the club to have a standard to build off
Let me
of
notch
as-
it.
for prototyping. It was fun. It was a learning environment too. And so also, if you do projects and you want to save your work, for example, there's Vicente,
I need to update Java,
page. He's got a folder.
But no time now.
It's associated with Gmail. It's a cloud thing.
Google Drive.
It can be whatever you want. That's
Okay.
just what I offer. If you want to do a link to whatever, if you want to put your documentation up there, that's stuff you can do there. You can look at what everybody's done. Leroy's got a lot of them. I've got a few. Frank's got some. Everybody's got some stuff up there. If you want to see what we've been up to. What else we got?
I always found that I always worked better in a group. Like when I was in college, I could do a study group, and I would walk into the group, but I wouldn't necessarily know the most, but I know I got the most out of it just because.
The idea with the study group is to
Yeah.
get a better grade.
Well, it's just
Everybody else sort of
it's
shares in
that,
the knowledge.
that social interaction. Just sit down and do something by yourself. You got to have a lot of individual motivation and you're easily distracted.
If you got something you want to put up for the meeting, just reply to the meeting announcement.
Okay.
Tell me what you want to do, and I'll put you on the schedule. That way we can promote what you're doing, so we can show people what we're doing and what we have of interest. What we've run into is the Arduino seems to be very popular and a lot of projects around it, and then we got in the Raspberry Pi and not so much.
Yeah.
Not so many projects for that. So, oh.
Well,
Because it requires a whole programming platform.
but it's going to come.
It's
It
coming.
will be a lot more software than hardware, I think.
Well,
It's going to come.
Particle, who used to be Spark.io,
Mhm.
they're doing some sort of platforming with Raspberry Pi, and I signed up for the beta, but I didn't get into it, so I wasn't fast enough to get into the beta.
Arduino is magic when it comes to the I/O, so I think that's really the big deal.
So-
With Raspberry Pi, bigger applications.
It's a pain.
Bigger applications.
Well, you have to be more programmer than
Yes.
hardware.
You need
A
to be-
hardware
You need to be a Unix guru.
I don't know if you have
I
to
tried
be a
to use
guru.
it.
You got to program something that compiles the program. You can't just get into it like you can.
But with
That's the problem,
with
really.
Linux in general, you have all these small things that you can put together and have them redirects,
Yeah.
pipes, and all that kind of stuff. And you have to be a lot more
But-
into
Oh,
To them must
Unix
combine
and
it.
Linux.
this is 48 inches, 3'7" inches. What's this?
It's 2 demos combined. It's my demo of the Pixie Cam, and his camera is looking at that screen.
So what's the cost of this thing? I saw this notice, but $3 Arduino camera.
His camera's about $3. My camera is the Pixie Cam, and
Oh,
it's
okay. So that's-
$70.
Oh,
Okay, so he's
That's
using
what-
a
that's all
$3
range.
camera.
Yeah.
And looking at Leroy's
Screen.
distance display.
Because that's a $3 camera looking at the
And-
distance display.
Hi.
Come in. Amazing technology.
Yeah.
That's us.
So
And you are
James.
James Nugent. Come in, sign in, please. We just introduced another new member, Vito here. So welcome to the group.
this is look here, 1 foot 1 inch, 1 foot. It's close enough.
He's actually using rulers and official stuff. He's getting very coordinated these
So
days.
is that Vincente's display on the screen?
Yeah.
That's your display on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the $3 camera?
Yeah.
So what's it
$3
called?
camera.
I mean, what's the name of this camera? It can't be $3 camera.
OOOB.
OV.
It's on your meeting announcement.
7670.
670, okay. I didn't read it real good.
Leroy's always on my back for not reading his stuff, so it's.
You've been hanging out with my wife,
insulted.
not reading my texts too.
Yeah.
Well, I even made the comment today that I actually read the meeting announcement. That's how I knew that I was doing this.
It's a good thing you read
It was
it.
good to know.
I mean, it's
I knew what- I knew what-
Okay.
I knew what to bring this time.
So what's the resolution with this one? That's
Now it's 160 by 120.
Oh, okay, that's excellent for that.
But the price is the thing.
The thing is at this point, it could actually probably read his LCD display that he wanted it to do.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what's the point right now. You have a camera to look at the. I'm missing some key.
Well, that's because you're new.
You're right. Oh my God. It's camera. Woo!
We have two presentations. Okay, the cheap camera images to the desktop, right? And he also has.
So it's doing like picture capturing to do
Yes.
video, basically. Refreshing.
I did a software in the PC to capture the.
Okay.
He is working with the Arducam, right?
PixieCam.
PixieCam.
Yeah.
It's a module that has a lot of functions.
Yeah.
One of it is to measure distances.
It's running a little tiny version of Linux. It's got a better processor on there. I'm running it through an Arduino, and I'm looking at a square. It knows more or less. It knows the height and the width of the square, and it's looking at that in pixels. So if I move it, the pixels obviously would change. So it could do a rough guess at distance.
Okay.
And it's actually fairly close, given that my ruler's not exactly right.
So what's the resolution of the PixieCam?
It's got to be low, because it's mostly
160 by
pixel,
120?
probably.
Okay.
It's mostly, when you look at it, it's mostly pixels.
Oh, okay, I see the reflection of it.
So now, at his camera at this was because he has a display down in his basement that he wanted to kind of monitor and watch.
Oh, okay.
But so, not that it's the same thing, but we were just kind of looking to see, and it's working.
I get it. What's the display you wanted to see that you can't get the data out of?
Is the
CO monitor.
radon gas display? It's a box.
Yeah, that's good. I've got a lift station in my basement that I've been talking about. You know, one of the pumps went out, and I opened up the panel, I looked at it, and it's everything that I sell. And then I'm like, I can fix this, but it was a pump down in the shithole. I was like, I ain't opening that up.
Oh,
But then I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if I could pull a couple auxiliary contacts off these motor starters, you know, and then I could put a Wi-Fi module on there, and then I can monitor it remotely, because all I got right now to know that something failed is bang of a local buzzer, and you can't really hear it upstairs very well.
That's good. Look at this.
That would be good. That would be interesting. The concept, you could put a little camera on a lot of different stuff. Your water meter in your basement.
Yeah.
I don't think it's 7 foot though, because that's 6 foot.
This is a PixieCam for like $35, and Vicente's camera is $3.
PixieCam's more like $70.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't buy it for that.
No, I didn't.
What's its field of view? This Pixie What's it? How far?
I
off
wish
can you go?
I can't, for some reason I can't cast right now, because I would show it. It sees pretty much. It sees everything, but it's kind of pixie.
Okay. But you have a program to look for
a certain color.
a certain color. Got it.
Actually, 2 colors, because
I mean, you just made a vision sensor, is what you just did right there.
that's pretty much what it was designed to do.
Yeah. Cool. They sell those things for like $800.
Yeah, so even the $70 was a good price, but I found it on eBay for, I think I paid $50 for it.
Is it looking at the entire color block or just the
Yes.
centroid?
No, the entire block.
Okay.
So the way this one's actually working, I wish I could cast, because you get a better idea. But there's it's looking for 2 different colors.
Right.
It's seeing the table as being kind of red. There's certain areas that it's also triggering on the orange. but having the two colors next to each other is actually the trigger. So if green and red are next to each other, it would trigger. Orange, it's really supposed to be orange, but it kind of sees the orange as red right now. So, but having the two of them next to it is what the trigger is. And then I took a rough measurement of the height and the width, stuck that in, did a little easy math, really. It's not real hard math. Got a at 2 foot, I got the number of pixels, and just kind of adjusted the math a little bit. And it looks like it's going to be off at 7 foot, but
The further it is away, the worse it's going to be. Because
exactly.
The amount of pixels you have available keeps getting smaller and smaller. And
exactly. And that's exactly what it's just really counting pixels.
Yeah.
And it's doing some rough guessing about what it thinks those pixels should be. It's basically kind of it's guessing, really.
Yeah.
But
Probably
but
more
when
in
it-
line with the kinetics does too.
Yeah.
Using the
But-
vision.
when it's that's what I kind of wanted to see, was just where its upper limits were. So we need to kind of move it around a little bit. But it looks like 7 foot's probably going to be a little bit too far.
That's the PixieCam, 50 Leroy bucks, it looks like, and going to a Nano.
No, that's a
Uno.
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 That's a regular Uno.
And this is driven, is that parallel to the display or
It's that's a serial display.
serial display? Okay.
And I wrote a little code that knows to send it to this. If we hooked it up to the computer, it's actually spitting out a whole bunch more information. But this is the important stuff. It's, whatever.
And this is the $3 cam.
And that's the $3 camera.
Talking to,
This is an Arduino Nano working on 3.3 volts.
okay, Nano on 3.3 volts, and it's communicating via what?
Parallel port.
Parallel, okay.
The
Going into the discrete
Arduino is
ends?
capturing using a signal pixel clock, capturing in parallel bytes of the light intensity and sending serially at 1 megabytes to the computer.
It's capturing in parallel 8 bits, like 8 bits at a
8
time?
bits at a time.
Okay, so it's frame. Okay,
8 bits at a time, and you send the value,
okay.
and the computer use the value to reproduce.
And you have a trigger? Do you have a trigger? 8 bits trigger?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
You use the racing edge of the signal.
And this is a look-alike for $3, $2 for the Nano?
No.
It's a real Nano?
This Nano is not a real Nano. It's called a Meduino.
Meduino? Okay.
You have a switch to change from 5 volts to 3.3 volts.
Okay.
All the I/O, all the operation. You don't need to correct the logic levels of the Arduino.
That's
Just change
nice.
the voltage.
That's nice. So he likes to do that. He builds these and keeps these.
Last week I bought 10 of those, $1.80 each
Wow.
from China.
So
Free
you-
shipping.
okay.
Free
I thought,
shipping.
Oh, yeah.
I show them when I have them. I
records
show.
on this
I
stuff.
thought I was
They work
bad.
in 3.3 volts or 5 volts.
Is it a jumper or
Yeah,
switch?
this is a switch. The other
Okay.
one has a jumper.
Oh, okay.
It's cheaper.
Cool.
The other one is cheaper.
Yeah. Cool.
Was that last year, Micro Center, just right up here, they had like the Mega, the Uno, and the Micro, and it was like $2.99, $4.99, and $7.99. I just went in there and I just grabbed like 10 of them a piece and threw them in a cart. I was like, they're so cheap, I can't pass this up.
They are cheaper than the
I know they're cheaper now, but
microprocessor itself. You
Yeah.
want to buy 10 microprocessors from Mauser. Each one costs more than the full Arduino from China.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You don't know.
And that Ray's looking at some of that.
If you want, I can show you the Laser Ranger with this camera. laser range.
Laser rangefinder.
Rangefinder. How to measure distance with the camera.
Oh, okay.
That'd be fun.
Just as an experiment. This will be the target. Okay.
Ah, he messed up my target.
Sorry. You move the
This is
camera.
my next project.
Okay. Move the camera.
The two chips. What's wrong with one of them?
Yeah. Somebody put 115 volts on the input is my guess. It blew the top off of it, and blew a piece out of it.
Nicely done.
That's my electronic dartboard.
Yeah.
One of those full size.
I need to write your.
It's like a
your
flip
tool.
flop in there.
Yeah.
I bought the
Okay.
online. Found
You
that.
remember the laser?
$7.
You put the laser in one position, and you see the spot in the image of the laser.
Yeah.
Right? You can know the distance of the box because the spot will be moving
Ooh, too close.
somewhere.
Updates.
With the distance, the position of the.
Oh, yeah, I see
Okay.
what you're saying.
Okay, and
Forms
you
a
use this.
triangle.
You use this position to use trigonometry calculation to know what the distance is.
Now, what do you
And
do?
this is very cheap.
You're shining the light on this.
Yeah.
And what are you calculating?
Well, you can use do you remember the Excel program I did that you put the distance and the pixel position in an array in Excel, and Excel gives you the interpolation equation that compute the pixel position, and it gives you the distance. It's just a formula. It's interpolation.
I don't know what you're
Okay,
interpolating.
let me lay here and see.
As the dot moves,
You need
he's
to-
using trigonometry, like in the way
Yeah.
of
You can
the
use
position and
you can use trigonometry, okay, and calculate the distance, but the sensor is so tiny and the angles can change practically when you assemble that the estimation won't fit the reality, you know.
Oh, you're triangulating. Okay, I see.
The
I
easy-
see
the
what
easy
you're
way-
talking about.
I did in the last when I showed the laser ranger.
Mhm.
I just did something like this. I measured the distance. Okay, I used 10, 20, 30, and 40, and here put the number of pixels where the spot is writing, you know, and you have something like this.
Oh, okay.
You put these values. These values in an array in a cell. Put all the values in a cell. You
Okay.
tell a cell that to make graphics of the data, and he produced this data, right? This presentation, and you can click in this graphic and ask for the equation that best fit this curve, you know. And
Okay.
Excel will put here we'll set the G, Y, W equal a number, A multiplied over X, elevated a number B. And you put this equation in Arduino. When you have this as an input, and
Okay.
we produce the distance.
Okay.
This is
That's cool.
experimentally. You can doing calculus, geometry, but everything is to similarity of triangles. You know, it's you have the laser here. This is the target. The camera is here. Okay, this triangle here, you want to know the distance, right?
Okay.
So
So you're calculating the hypotenuse.
inside the camera, there is the same
Might not be right.
same triangle in the sensor. The same triangle is inside the tiny camera. And for similarity, you know this distance, and the number of pixels that is this distance. And you can, for a rule of three, I don't know how you call it, rules of three, proportionality.
Infinity law?
You will obtain the distance,
That's power.
knowing the number of pixels of this.
That's exactly how, what mine's
But
doing.
in my demonstration, I was using an array, okay, of 64 sensors. Here.
Yeah.
This is a sensor of 680 sensors. But the size of the sensor is 10 times or more smaller than this. And you will have a problem with the quality of the measurement, because a change in temperature will change the shape of everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's why the laser rangefinder was used a big arrays of photodiodes instead of a camera. But the camera is too small, the sensor is too small.
Okay.
But it works for our purpose. It works.
Well, that's exactly how mine's working too. It's similarity of triangles.
They are using the size of the image, right?
Yep. And they're getting the focal length of the camera. That's where the pixel value comes from. So you know what your focal length of your camera is, so you know more or less what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
But
you change the distance, and you change.
Mine's just a little bit more expensive than $3.
Slightly.
So what do you get for your extra money?
Well, I just wanted to see it. I just wanted to see it done, because I had this Pixie camera sitting there, and I had never done. Well, we did very few demos with it, and I thought, gotta do something with it
to justify spending $50.
Got to do something with it. But what I found there while I was playing with it, it doesn't work real well while it's moving. If the target's moving, then it's okay-ish. But if it's moving, it doesn't work so well. Because I was thinking about mounting that to the camera, mounting that to the robot for target distance. And I don't know if it's going to work so well for
They make
that.
those sensors.
Ultrasonic.
Yeah, that would be better for that type of thing. Moving that would be.
Well, ultrasonics have a range limit, and I was hoping to go beyond the range limit. But, you know, it kind of looks like
Same problem.
it's the same problem. I'm not going to really gain a whole lot.
So if you spend $20,000, you can get something that works.
I think there's more processing power in this room than there was on the spaceship that went to the
Oh, I'm
The landing module.
It's like, isn't that not true? Like in your own phone, there's more power in the phone.
So that says 4 foot. So where are we? And so what does that say? 3?
3 foot 1
You're
inch.
about 3 foot
3
now.
foot.
Oh, sorry.
So it's jumping around a little bit between 4 foot, 4.5 foot, 310.
4 foot 3, 51 inches, 56 inches.
So it's not perfect, but for our purposes, I think it works pretty well.
It's pretty cute.
How's it good deal if you put it at an angle?
It jumps up about a foot off.
I was just dealing with I went up to AK Steel to do work with a retroreflective sensor in an oily environment, and they kept having problems with it. And I looked over what they were mounting it to, and they've got some forklifts where the tires are taller than you that pick up the rolls of steel, and they're trying to shoot a beam down, probably about 20 meters across the way. So when the truck comes up, it breaks the sensor. And I took some pictures of it and had explained to them that you can't just put a reflector on the other side. It has to be reflected on the other side perpendicular to the ground, not just randomly placed. And their solution to all that was to put more reflectors around to capture it, because they weren't aiming it quite right. And so what it turned to was, like, instead of just being a reflector on the other side, it was reflector, 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 reflector. And they had mounted it to basically what turns out to be a guardrail. So so these things could probably hit this. And so I was like, that wall is not this. It's like this.
Oh, yeah.
And so when that thing hits it, they're reflecting. I'm explaining this to these guys, and I'm like, can we just go to a diffuse sensor where it goes out, hits it, and reflects off the thing that it's doing? I said, he goes, yeah, I won't take the reflectors down. I'll let them keep thinking that reflector is working. And I just started laughing.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything you're talking about here is like very relevant to stuff I deal with in my day-to-day job.
Wow.
It's you guys can swipe left and right. You can see what I'm talking about. Let's see that wall.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to cross a distance like that. That's the sensor they come across, and then just. But that wall, come on. It used to be one dot.
Oh, okay. That's the solution.
So just like your target here, this is the retroreflector, and what that does.
Oh, yes.
It's supposed to be one dot, but the way that it knows it hits the reflector is that the reflectors, they're in there, they're like little prisms in there. It inverts the beam, so if it comes in here, it inverts, it comes back. That's how it reflected off the reflector, not just a shiny surface. So a reflective sensor, and that's why I was wanting to know if it's turned that way, because you get a certain amount of play on these reflectors that it will fire back. But if it's a moving target you're trying to get like that, you got to go to completely different sensor technology, because it's relying on that.
And apparently, if the camera's moving and the target's stationary, it's different too. So, apparently. Because it was just doing hokey things when I was moving it around. Like, it was locking on to all kinds of stuff. But the reason why I'm using a color code is to try to filter some of that out.
Well, I mean, it's the same principle that's the traffic cameras are doing. They're looking for a shape on the ground in an area, and then they'll change the light.
Right. It's pretty much the same idea. I'm looking for two specific colors that are next to each other. This camera was like if you had a robot or something, you could look for those, and it says the first color is orange, so it's color number 1, and the second color is green, so it's color number 2. So if we had 4 more colors programmed into it, purple, pink, and yellow, you could actually set up codes for it to find, so that it's looking around for, do
some sort of search pattern.
Yellow, green, or it's looking for orange, pink.
Combination.
How do you program? Is that a software interface that you program the color? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're limited by what the software allows you to do.
So you have values for those pixels, the colors of those pixels.
What do you take pictures of it and record that in, and it does some encoding itself?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I wish I could cast right now, because
That's okay. I totally get it.
It's a little.
I get it.
Yeah. It's actually kind of neat, but I don't really particularly. It's real picky. I mean, you got to set it up and then pray that it actually works when you unplug it.
I was trying to think, how did you code the color in your system? Did you use some RGB Like, you know.
What's wrong with a lot of this stuff? Did you find stuff that other people have done?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
not this
Or
one.
You did that one by yourself?
Yeah, I did this one.
And you bow down? If half of it's not done, I'm not gonna bother.
Oh. So that's what the interface for programming looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
You can see all the extraneous stuff, but this block right here in the center is the good block
Yeah.
that it's trying to lock
Yeah.
onto.
The vision sensors I've seen, because you get into gantry systems, like if you got pickers or placements, even for, if you ever notice how your fruit has your pears might be in a cardboard shaped thing specific for the pear. How do that? Is there a a guy putting that? No, they've got these arms that
Really
come
nice,
down.
really
They
expensive
got a vision
system.
sensor, or picking up a bolt and putting a bolt on a nut. Whatever. The vision sensor go down and look for various shapes of that to see if it's good. So they do it in quality control checks and stuff. So it's cool that you could do this on a personal level, because that stuff costs like $2,000 to buy just the sensor.
So you can
Considering.
Oh, sure.
you can see that I don't have the pink and the yellow programmed, because as soon as I move,
Yeah.
it picks it right back up. But it's not real hard. All I have to do is basically tell it that I want to select a new color, and select the color, and pray that when you unplug it, it actually programmed it. Hey,
Did the software cost any extra to come with the hardware?
it came with the hardware.
Have you ever seen any other software that's compatible with the hardware that's like a paid version?
No, it's supposed to be all open source, but
No one else is
pretty
open sourced
much, it's pretty much what it is. I mean,
Since you're doing that, I've read people have taken that Microsoft Kinetics camera and done a lot of stuff with that. That might play over. I mean, it's a bit more expensive, but if you're looking for true, like, moving, and even then, I don't think those cameras would even do well on a moving system, because they're usually stationary looking at things moving.
I just backed another camera system off of Kickstarter, and it was a $45 system that's supposed to actually be on a robot. So supposedly it's going to be a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see when it actually gets here.
If
I've had pretty good luck with
I
Kickstarter.
had one totally pink, $100 gone.
But
One of the problems is, especially when the camera is moving, is whether it's a rolling shutter versus a global shutter.
Yeah.
Global shutters work much better because basically it's taking the whole image at once, whereas and most of the cheap camera sensors are rolling shutter where it's scanning.
Yeah.
And so if there's any movement, you get.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's basically
yeah,
what the computer ends up seeing. It's all sheared because of the movement. But if it were a global shutter, it's like an instantaneous snap.
Being able to process all the lines in one instance. Kind of thing.
The sensor grabs everything at once instead of
and then you
line by
scan
line.
it.
Then you scan it out. Yeah,
I don't really know how this one works.
I'm sure it's a rolling shutter. There are very few global shutter
It'll be very
sensors.
expensive.
Yeah, well,
OmniVision. I don't think
you need an
OmniVision
integrator
makes one.
for each pixel. A lot of hardware condensed.
well, here's the other thing. You can see it when you're watching it on this screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting completely still, both of them, and it's still moving. I mean, it's still
Right.
so. It's not. It works. It does what it's supposed to do, but it's not. I wouldn't put it in a production system.
No, closer. Most of these other sensors they have a range of millimeters. You're trying to do feet. So
I want to do feet.
yeah.
And you want to do it cheaply.
And I want to do it cheap.
We're figuring this out.
And
a wife that likes me.
well, the
That's not a
idea was
necessity,
actually
just say it.
the idea was actually to stick it on the TRC and try to get a little closer to our target. I don't know, you know, it's supposed to move really slow, so I don't really know how that would affect it.
Oh, okay.
So
So what do you think, Jim?
Okay. Sounds like a good start, a reasonable approach.
The only other option is to move, stop, assess, move, stop, assess, move, stop, assess.
Yeah.
Deal with the limitation by stopping.
yeah,
Because it doesn't matter how long, does it, Jim?
No,
It takes a half
What-
hour.
what is
half hour,
TRC?
In the morning,
Fine.
yeah.
TRT
Gotta make it by
is
Truck will come.
trash can robotic
Let's say-
transport. So we're going to take our trash out by hitting a button.
Gotcha.
So what are your interests, James?
Robotics,
Robotics? You like robots in general? Processors, robots?
everything related. Yeah.
Okay, ever tinker with any robots?
Yep.
What kind?
I don't know. I've got
I'm thinking battle bots. You've done some.
no. Those aren't robots.
Big RC cars,
Yeah, basically dangerous RC car.
dangerous RC cars.
I don't know. I
Recognize that robot?
yeah, Hero.
Ah, he does.
That's
Is it
actually
a junior?
That's junior.
It-
Is that
wow.
the white man?
We got another one in the group.
I've been in robotics since I was a teenager, so I was
That's his.
in the first robot. The early '80s was the first robot revolution that puttered
I
out,
gotta find it.
sputtered out.
That's a
That was
smurfed up version of his. That's his,
85-ish.
actually is.
I think I even still have some. You remember the Kim 1? There was a book about a guy who built a home built robot called the Kim 1. There was a number
I've heard
of-
of it. I don't know if I know what that one looks like or not.
It was kind of a triangular
Oh.
chassis.
Was it with slanted wheels, and the Apple II was used to program it?
No. That was the
Android.
bot.
Yep.
That was the guy who started
I need a new
Atari.
iPad.
I'd love to get my hands on an Androbot.
If you had a,
This was a purely homebrew
Chrome,
robot
you wouldn't
that he
have it.
wrote a book about.
Nah, this is
well,
my
the
old.
Google big.
This is my old Apple iPad 2, and
Wow.
I've got an Air
But
that's
yeah.
work, but it's like a.
I
It's only 16 gigabyte.
I got that one out at a flea market for $20.
Sweet.
None of the electronics worked.
Yeah.
None of the So for that particular demo, I had 7 different Arduino microcontrollers in it. But now it's down, I've only got one
Yeah.
really doing it. But I had that, it was playing music, it was talking, it was doing all kinds of stuff. Lightsaber was on it, and it was doing lightsaber stuff.
So you're gonna use the multiprocessing?
I am actually I'm going to replace my Arduinos with the MSP 432. So I think it will handle multitasking much, much better. So it's on the list. Right now he's sitting in storage because I just don't have room for him anywhere else. But I do a lot of small robotics stuff.
I just moved here a few weeks ago from California.
Another one.
Yeah.
We had the visitor a few months ago.
Yeah, I used to live up in Columbus, and then I got a chance to move out there for about 10 years. It was a nice change.
Okay.
Where were you in California?
Modesto, it's in the Central Valley. It's middle of nowhere.
Okay, so you're not out there on the coast.
No. It was about an hour and a half to the coast, like San Francisco or to the Silicon Valley. So I'd go down there once a month. There's a fairly good sized robot club there, the Homebrew Robotics Club. So that was fun. Lots of people doing different robots, and most of them over the years ended up working for robot companies.
Surprisingly enough.
Nito, Savio, the guys doing the what do they call that thing? It's the robot that takes stuff around hotels.
Oh,
I didn't
Yeah,
know, I didn't know it had a name. I've seen the commercial.
The company is Savvy Oak. I don't remember what the robot's called.
yeah. I knew it too. I knew it until you said it.
People work in a number of people in the club worked at Willow Garage. The guys did the PR2 and Ross robot operating
Yeah.
system. So yeah, there's lots going on out there with robots, but
I thermal heat sensors, and I'm probably going to bring that robot in. Nothing else.
just a single pixel, shall we say?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I've got left and right,
Ah, okay.
so it can steer. It's pretty fast, and it'll run you over.
Like what they
I
are.
just saw somebody has a breakout board for a sensor, a thermal sensor that's 8 by 8 pixels. So you get 64 total. You get a little image.
Oh,
Very low res, but
that would be neat.
it was like $49 for the sensor board.
Out of my price. I'm cheap.
What is it for?
$50 for
It's just, I
For
bought
that
these little
was-
things, for their memo, supposed to be little memo things. You push the button and it plays, it
1 second, it plays it back.
plays it back. Except
How
that
long does it record for?
it's a
long
piece
as you
of
hold it
junk.
down.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
What this is for is somebody wants to make something out of it. It's got a microphone, it's got 2 buttons, it's got a speaker. You can make walkie-talkies out of them using the Smurf receivers
the
or
Nerfs.
something like that. We're looking for somebody who wants to build something. And it's a case and a couple of buttons.
And a
switch.
couple of switch.
It's got a switch on the side,
And
yeah.
LED. Woo.
Yeah,
I was already thinking of it working,
no,
kind of like a
What?
notepad.
wait, put that out of your brain, Frank.
Just put that out of my mind.
Yeah.
Well, why?
You could put something in it and make it work. It actually will, it may play, but it's unintelligible when it plays it back. You'd have to listen to like noise, like scratches.
You need 2 of them to make a walkie-talkie.
So you want 2 of them, you're gonna make a walkie-talkie?
I don't know. I could try to make a walkie-talkie, I suppose.
Use a nerf, you know what the nerf we're talking about?
So
The NRF 2401.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I could just-
EMF detector.
An EMF detector, yeah.
But it's a nice little case for something.
Could put an ESP8266 in there, and
none of this stuff works.
none of that stuff
The
works.
transistors don't work.
It will work. It will probably work.
Once.
But you can barely hear what it says. It's
More power.
It sounds like you're using a super generative receiver or an FM receiver and the signal's weak. It's really could not be called usable. It will
It's
kind of
less-
function, and these are different varieties. I didn't realize this. One of them, if you take the battery out, it forgot everything.
Now, the way this thing was working is you were using the speaker as a receiver, right?
It has a separate microphone.
A separate microphone.
And
There's a little
separate
mic
speaker.
in there.
See a little speaker?
So the super capacitor and the one that forgot
Is
everything's
this the mic
bad.
in the center?
That's a speaker there.
Where's the mic?
It's a little
It's a little can.
top.
Oh, okay. Okay, there it is, right there. So the mic doesn't work.
The mic works.
I'm guessing.
It's just my guess is it's got feedback internally. It's very noisy transistor or something. I don't know what.
Probably bad design.
It's a bad design. It never worked. They came right out of the bubble pack. All of them were right out of the bubble pack.
This guy went to high school, does a lot of overseas travel. He's always coming back with some of these robots.
Show that to Knucklehead over there. Wow, he was crazy.
And so he's restoring them, taking them and doing some polymer stuff to get
Oh,
all the
you
yellow
do,
off
yeah.
of them. This is a guy I went to high school with, and so there was this one scene where he's recording a video where he put a handgun in one of them.
They're all Omnibots.
And he put
That's
it like
an
on a patrol
Omnibot.
pattern going around.
That's an
Now-
Omnibot 2000.
Yeah. I've been looking, that's what I've been scrolling through. I'm like, I know I saw a bunch of these robot posts he's been doing, but he's buying them over there, and he breaks them all down and puts them in his luggage. He comes back from overseas trips. I don't know what he's doing, but he's like going into Singapore and he's all over the place.
He's
traveling.
probably finding them cheap enough because they're worth money here.
And then he's building them. I was like, he's always kind of eccentric, and he didn't go into college or anything. His job's gotten so weird, but his posts are always like, some random bullshit, this bullshit, that, thing. But every once in a while, you got something that's interesting. And he's got this hobby with these little robots. And the customs guys know him when he comes through customs, because one guy, he goes, I've been traveling too much, and I buy too many robots when the customs officer looks at me and goes, you had a robot in that bag? He goes, I guess I've gotten this guy before.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Hit him once or twice.
I owned a couple of those at one time. I regret giving them up. Looks like 5 foot, 4.5 foot's probably my limit on detection, because it's not reading right.
I kind of barely remember those from when I was a kid. I was like, I don't even know how functional they really are, or how you they seem like
They're not. They have absolutely no functionality to them. They came with like a little
like this with a couple buttons on it.
five or six buttons and
Yeah.
maybe a little joystick, and you drove it around and you talked into it, and it changed your voice to a robot voice. And it had a cassette deck where you could record your motions, and a pad that it would set on. So if it always started on this pad, it would always go to the same spot. But then you would have to manually rewind the cassette or flip the cassette over so it could do something else.
Yeah.
It was a robot in name only.
Right. It was kind of funny though. I don't know how he did it, but he actually put a real in his hand, like something you carry conceal, and put it in the thing, and then he's got this video of it going, and he's like, robot on patrol, my new security system.
The gripper actually was moderately decent. It would carry a can of Pepsi.
Yeah.
So as long
it is
Empty.
No, it would actually bring you pop. You could get it to bring Pepsi to you and whatever, but I'm guessing as long as your gun didn't weigh more than a can of something.
Yeah, it'd be 16 ounces or something.
So, but it was made by Tommy, and then Radio Shack had its own model of the same thing, also made by Tommy, but rebranded by Radio Shack. And
He used to work at Radio Shack. That's probably where he got this love of them from.
they're
Like when we were in high school, he worked at Radio Shack.
they were great.
Used to be something.
Yeah.
They were fantastic little toys when you were a kid, but they are
When they
Definitely
closed
not
a bunch of
robots.
stores last year.
This is a meeting announcement, James.
When they closed a bunch of Radio Shacks,
This is
like all the
the,
mall
you can
ones.
go to
I
the
went
meeting
to the
announcement
Eastgate
anytime,
Mall,
look at it, see what's in
and I-
there.
and I-
See what
and I-
I've been
bought
typing in.
enough
Or
of
Leroy.
microelectronic stuff.
This is a link to the
create
meeting video.
15
He's got a
foot
little video
receipt.
camera there that sometimes we produce videos.
Because it was like 70% off, so I bought like every transition.
And this is the various stuff.
Yeah.
That's Vince's announcement for what he's done. He
Well,
probably
Micro
saw that.
Center right around the
And
corner.
no,
I
only
it's a little pricey,
Okay.
but
I just emailed you a copy of this, and that you'll get it once a
Right,
week.
there's a prize in Indianapolis.
We're
There's a
pretty,
prize in Indianapolis.
There's one, I think.
cautious with our email addresses.
I don't know.
There's one in Chicago.
You will be spread around.
My
There's
brother-in-law's
Leroy's
was
work
talking
area
about the fries,
there.
and they live up there.
Motherboard that you could have.
The TCT
Copy
project,
used to do that stuff.
if you have projects in here, you'll get a page if you
Sorry.
want to put your stuff in.
You're killing everybody. I'm not trying to.
And this is GitHub location,
Didn't.
if you do that.
And whenever I go to the West Coast, it's still kind of like a treat.
that's about most of it. That's a cloud location. This is just
You got a little
Google Cloud. I've got a
plug-in
directory.
to my
If you want to have your own directory on your Google Cloud, that's fine. I'll just put your pointer to your stuff. Or if you have a website, whatever. So that's what we're doing. Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, you'll get another one of these. Kind of what we're up to next meeting. Anybody have anything they want to do next week?
I'm going to bring that thermal robot.
Thermal robot?
Yeah, and I may actually add a PIR or a ping sensor on it so that it doesn't just roll off and try to kill everybody. I'm calling it a snake vision robot.
Oh, it's snake vision. Okay, future snake vision robot. Okay. So that'll be.
I assume you guys have seen
That was
the dirt cheap
the man job.
ultrasonic sensors from China.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like a buck a piece. It's crazy.
Telephone systems for a lot of computer networks.
Right.
And
Yeah, like I don't have 1,000 of those things. Well, okay, I don't. I got a bunch of them.
Like back in the day, the cheapest you could get would be like the ping.
The ping.
$30.
Yeah.
Now these things are a buck.
Well,
They're maybe not quite as good as the ping.
That were software.
I own a couple of real pings.
You got anything you want to do?
The whole thing, all these like
Anything
sensors
next week
themselves
for
are
me?
No idea.
Okay.
Something.
They should come up with something. So drop me a mail message and
I
put it there, Frank.
I've been thinking, I haven't done anything forever, so
Okay.
I'm overdue. I'm just lazy.
Okay.
I have to get inspired again.
It's all volunteer here, and you will not be talked down to except maybe me for demos and stuff. So.
probably within the next 2 weeks, I'm getting 4 microwave devices. They don't have any data sheets on them. They don't have any specs about them other than, a handful of little tiny details. So I actually emailed you about them, and I need to find the IF on them, the intermittent frequency, so I could actually use them for something. So anybody have any idea?
How do you propose doing that?
I was just going to take a probe and start testing, but I know my scope won't do it.
Have I counted a frequency meter or something, just to check if there is something stable somewhere?
I
Yeah.
don't think I can come back till next
Well,
year.
I'm not really looking for the microwave frequency. I'm looking for the intermittent frequency.
Intermediate.
Intermediate, whatever. Yeah, the IF. I'm looking for the IF.
And you have no idea what this thing is.
I've got, well, yes, I know what it is.
Stuff.
It was actually, they're strictly switches. They turn on and off. And some of them have timers built into them, so they'll turn whatever is on back off.
Proximity, I guess.
It's a proximity switch, but it's in the microwave range, which means they're little tiny radars, is what it means. And they're cheap.
Okay, it's not Doppler thing.
Yes, two of them say they are.
We need layer cuts to work close to
How about I
this.
bring mine in and let you use mine, or you can borrow mine. Then remember I tell you the other one was jamming my 5.8 gigahertz signal. I got a rabbit in sending a TV signal from the living room to the kitchen. And I plugged in this proximity switch I bought, a little white box, turns on the light when something comes on. And I plugged it in and the rabbit just went crazy. The signal went, and I wonder, what? I thought it was infrared sensor, but Leroy's saying it might be microwave.
It might be a microwave
Do you know
sensor.
you have an idea what the carrier?
Well, one of them's supposed to be 2.7 gigahertz. Two of them are 5.8 gigahertz and one's 24 gigahertz. But I have no idea.
The HB100 is 10.
And the HB100 is 10. The HB100 that I've got gives you direct access to the IF.
Yeah.
We've got to find it on these other
So
boards.
if they're doing this and they're using these frequencies, then somebody else should have used something similar. that has specs with it. I'm just saying, related to.
Those, I don't know, it's very strange.
Most of these boards that I'm getting have 4 pins that are presumably 2 of them are going to be input for ground and volt and power,
Signal.
and 2 of them are probably a signal, but I don't have any idea what these signals would be.
I'm just going based on specs. I mean, you got one spec, you know, it's certain frequency used for the carrier. Couldn't there be some other boards that are known that have specs that use? And that's kind of a good place to start guessing.
Well, if there is, I can't find them because I've Googled the heck out of this
And he's a
problem.
pretty good scrounger, you know.
Did you try Yahoo?
I did not try Yahoo. I did not try Yahoo.
Or Bing.
Hey now. I Googled the heck out of it, but
And these are probably from China, right?
Yeah. I said, I'm busy. I can't get back here till January 5th. I got
Yeah.
my company Christmas party 1 week, and then I got another week, and then I got my daughter's piano recital. They're all on Thursday nights. I'm like,
That's perfect. And if you can't get here on time, that'll make you challenge Frank here. Frank
well, no,
has
it's
the
like
record.
it's because of the stuff. It starts at 7 and goes to 8:30. It's like I can't even overlap.
yeah, you get this
Well,
mess cleaned up.
you can.
No, I'll be in touch. I got your meeting December 29th. I'm free then. That's right in the middle of the Christmas season. I'm on vacation.
I don't know. As long as it's that, we'll have a meeting then.
The January 5th.
As long as the library's open.
Yeah, as long as the library's open, we'll be here.
Then I go back to the 12th. I got another commitment on the 12th already.
Okay.
They do an internet
I have
thing
shocked myself.
right downtown
Lots of
at an incubator.
Oh, you need to tell him
No,
that.
no, I'm
There's
not.
there's a group, All Things IoT, that meets in the Union Hall on Vine Street downtown.
Oh, yeah, I found them on the meetup too.
Yeah,
You hear that, Leroy?
they have pizza and beer at their meetings.
What?
Is
They get corporate sponsors.
Is that a